Oblivion is here, and I am Shader. Now, I love FNAF, and I love FNAF World. So, just like I did with that Hollow Knight DLC that I'm doing, why not make some FNAF World stuff? Now, a lot of people have always wanted a FNAF World sequel, and I know about the FNAF Refreshed mod. I've yet to play it. I will play it for you guys. But, while we're here, why not make my own interpretation of a FNAF World continuation or sequel, or its own sort of game entirely as its own FNAF RPG. I was thinking about the name for a little bit. I think I got the gist. Might change it later, but for now, it's going to be called Fnaf Land. I want to preface beforehand that we lost Freddy. The stuff for Freddy is gone. So, well, whoops. You'll see him pop up and I'll have him at the end. But let's get started on with Bonnie. Now, Bonnie is really interesting because he's always been this like super important character, secondary to Freddy. You know, you have Spring Bonnie and Spring Trap. Like, the rabbits are really almost as important as the bears within the franchise. So I wanted to pull him off. I wanted to get him right. And I think I did decently well. I don't know, I still feel like there could be improvements to be made in the future if I want to redesign it. You can see me here adding in the ears. It took me a little bit of a hassle to get exactly the shape I wanted, but once I did, it wasn't too much. The main thing I wanted to get across with these designs is this like arcade game sort of thing. Like, it's like a RPG arcade sort of thing where you would pick your animatronics, find them through, you know, FNAF World. But I went with the pixelated style, not just because I thought it looks good, which think it looks good, but also because I'm not great. I'm not great at drawing otherwise. I tried, got multiple attempts, did not work out, decided to go for pixel, and it seems like it works out pretty well. You see me here drawing Bonnie's guitar. I wanted a similar shape, but I still ended up going for something that I feel like is a bit unique. Most of my inspiration for the designs came from the FNAF World designs, but also stuff like the Funkos and U2s. I really wanted those cuter designs. There was some fan stuff that I looked at on like Pinterest. Made sure not to get any AI stuff in there because I really wanted, you know, artistic representations of how these characters look like to people. I thought Bonnie has to have this sharp guitar. He's gotta be holding it, obviously. You can see me here adding in the hand. It took a little bit of a hassle to get the exact design for what I wanted the animatronics to be like. I didn't want to go full into the pit, but I was definitely inspired by how they do their animatronics. And I still wanted to keep my own segments. I'm pretty sure this art style works pretty good. You tell me how you feel about it. I think it's neat. I spent a lot more time on Bonnie as I did the others because I was still starting off and getting the hang of what I wanted for the characters. I also had a lot of issues with Bonnie holding his guitar that I didn't have for the other two, and especially Freddy. Still fiddling with Bonnie's arms, hands. You can see me here outline Freddy's to really try and get that exact similar shape in the background. You'll still see him at the end. I enjoyed Freddy's design as well. I thought he did really well. I decided to give him the white gloves from the movie, but fingerless gloves? I don't know why I made that decision. I just ended up doing it. I don't need to explain myself to you. I do. I want to. So that's why you're getting explanations for things. It took me a really long time to get the hang of this guitar. I really wanted to make it look good. I wanted to be able to show you and like players of the game, what would Bonnie's guitar look like. I am thinking of doing some animations for these. You might see them pop up in some shorts, how I'd animate the characters attacking and stuff. I thought, how would I want all of the characters to work in the game? You know, I want it to be very much inspired by Fnaf World and look similar to Fnaf World. So you have the character selecting for your team. I think you'd only have a team of 4 characters, not like a team swap out as the previous Fnaf World did. It is a good mechanic. I just didn't think that's what I wanted for this one, for this idea. I do love the like head selection, something similar to that. I like the leveling up of the animatronics. I don't know if I'd want, you know, something more similar to Pokemon with the animatronics evolving. It would be cool or something, but I don't know how I'd feel about that. Tell me how you feel about that, if maybe the animatronics should have evolutions more similar to Pokemon, or maybe they should have alternate color variants that you can find that would be rare, but then that would be taking away from other animatronics that I'd get, because I'd probably be inspired by like shadows and stuff like that. But you tell me your opinion on it. I think it would be neat, but again, I don't want to take away from the alternate animatronics. Here's Bonnie. I decided his guitar was way too low because it was touching his feet. I was not happy with that. When thinking of Bonnie, it took me a really long time. Not a long time. It was kind of difficult to not go instantly for Withered Bonnie, because everyone loves Toilet Head. And not to go for the toy Bonnie aspect either. It was a bit of a balance between those two more iconic Bonnies to get this exact shape. Another issue I had was with the colors, as you're about to start seeing soon. I feel like I ended up with the decision I'm most happy with, because it's his color in most games. You'll see. You can see me here trying to get the shape down a little bit better, cleaning things up, and starting to grab the colors. In between, the way I wanted the arms segmented, I wanted them in 3 pieces. Shoulder, this essentially like small arm joint, and then the hand. Like shoulder, forearm? You know, the arm before the elbow. And then this sort of robotic elbow piece to show off the animatronic inside, just to create some more separation within the art, as there wasn't going to be too much different colors going on here. Yes, in the end, I decided to go for blue. Now, I did instantly retract on how blue I wanted it to be. I thought it was way too much of a light blue. And I know most interpretations of Bonnie with his inner blue uses a more grayscaled blue, but I think adding the touch of color would have been nicer. I also added the lower, lighter feet that you see in the Fnaf World Bonnie. I thought that would be a nice touch, just to add more colors, since this design is pretty monotone compared to most. Lightened up a little. Just wanted to get that exact right blue shade for Bonnie. Now, I could have gone for a blue purple, and I know that would have made the majority of people happy, but I got some more ideas for stuff, and if I were to add like shiny, or maybe it's called something like a paint coat or something, there's like an alternate painted Bonnie, I would make it the more purple one for sure, because you know, everyone knows purple Bonnie, everyone knows blue Bonnie. It was the constant fight. Now I am thinking of adding all the other animatronics. Just at first I wanted to go for the main 4. Maybe in the future I'll even add, you know, every kind of animatronic, but I feel like going game by game at first and just doing the basics. Definitely I missed out on Golden Freddy for this video, and I'll make sure to get that one up eventually. But for now, Fnaf Land just has Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. I made sure to put in his guitar picks here and really use his iconic red guitar, despite the fact that the head's a lot larger, giving him his red bow tie. And here you see me going in with the shading, trying to emphasize the background and foreground of the animatronic limbs. I think I did pretty well with it, and in the end, I'm happy with my Bonnie. You can see, if you've noticed from the glances at Freddy, I missed out the eyebrows. Whoops. I go back and fix it, but whoops indeed. I shouldn't be forgetting Bonnie's eyebrows. I noticed something was off with the face. It was the eyebrows. It was definitely the eyebrows. There we go, me adding it back in, but made a bit of an oopsie trying to go with like, oh, do I want it longer? Do I want it shorter? I ended up choosing shorter. You see me there with the longer eyebrow. I went back on it. I couldn't decide. I still might change it later on. Haven't made a full decision. But for now, here's Bonnie. I'm quite happy with him. Hope you guys are too. Little final touch-ups with shading. And there we go. I always make sure to add in the color palette to the top left for future reference and usage.
I was the first. I have seen everything.
Pizza.
Everyone loves Chica. I love Chica, you love Chica, we love Chica, not that way. Talking about normal Chica. Toy Chica's a different story. But everyone loves our pizza eating maniac, and I really wanted to convey across the idea. Now, I feel like the first few poses for these characters, especially, I'd say Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica, don't show off their personality as much as I'd want to. Again, that's why they're optional to redesign. But I think I did pretty well with Chica. I wanted to make sure I got in all the sections and key features of Chica. For example, her tuft of hair, her giant beak, Cupcake, even though I realized a bit later on that the scale for this would make Cupcake quite tiny. I still figured out a way where I think it's pretty good. I went in with this preset build of the body and head and tweaked it to fit the animatronics. I feel like it would be different for each set of animatronic, depending on, you know, their general shape builds. Like, I don't know if the toys would be different, especially since the original FNAF animatronics had a lot more of a bulkier build, especially compared to like nowadays with the security breach animatronics, these super, I guess, more realistic, I don't know, a lot less rounded features. You have Freddy's giant chest. They're a lot more movable and stuff, so you're gonna see changes there. But for these guys, they're big balls of happiness. Still deadly though. You can see me here trying to put in some sort of cupcake and realizing this is way too small. Let's make that plate a little bit bigger, just so that we have something to fit Cupcake into. Try and get the right size for both the cake and the plate. Now you see I haven't put in the bib yet. I will be doing that. Don't worry. Bib's coming. We always need bib. When I look back at all of my experiences with Chica, they've always been one of my favorites. Personally, it's always been Bonnie and Foxy for me, but actually Chica's third place. It might surprise a lot of people, but Freddy is not honestly my favorite character. He's kind of a bit too plain. He's the main guy. We all love main guy. But it's just Freddy. He's comfort Freddy. I feel like I find more enjoyment in the alternate characters. Now, alternate Freddys, love them. There's quite a few, like Lefty, neat. He's neat. Can't prefer the marionette underneath. You got Molten Freddy. obviously my true favorite. Everyone flippin' loves him. Can't believe I'm blanking on his name. It's not Rockstar. Glamrock, sorry about that. Glamrock Freddy. Everyone loves Glamrock Freddy. That's my Freddy. But Chica always held a dear place in, I would say, the FNAF community. Like, whenever you think of Chica, each variant of Chica is very distinct. Like, even just the Secret of the Mimic Chica. Completely different looking, but still holds in all of Chica's elements. I feel like sometimes we lose that with some of the other characters, but it's always Chica. Chica is always very consistent. Made sure to put in her purple eyes. Couldn't fit in the text in properly, so had to get this weird look for it, and then tried splashing in the confetti on the design. Ended up just simplifying the purple down to make the text stand out a bit more. All in all, I'm pretty happy with Chica. You can see here me trying to get the right points for the shading to stay consistent with the others. I gave Chica those sort of eye bags to kind of resemble the eyelashes that you see in a few of her games, while still not full on giving it to her. I don't know, I just don't feel like the animatronics actually need it. Maybe some of the other versions of Chica, you know, like Toy Chica and Funtime Chica. You know, those ones. We know those ones. I feel like they could do with the eyelash treatment, but Chica itself, nah, she's good. She's happy as can be. Hope you like her. You see me putting in the colors here for us to then move on to our next and final drawing of the video. Who could it be? I have no idea. Oh, what a mystery. We all know who it's gonna be. Unless I'm crazy and I added in a secret 20th character. But yeah, that's Chica. Foxy, we love him, you hate dying to him, and the doors have no battery. Foxy has always been a unique character amongst the group. He's been pushed aside, literally his own blanket, though Bonnie does join him in Ultimate Custom Night. Bonnie has a fun time with Foxy. I don't know what's going on there. I'm happy for them. Support. But Foxy has always been one of my favorites. Again, I'd say Bonnie's more of my boy, but they're both up there as my besties. Foxy has had a lot of different design and a lot of love. And the main thing I was thinking of when trying to do this is I need to really show Foxy. I need to show all of his endo parts. I need to show how he's a bit scrafty already. I decided to keep his body clean. I know he has a bit of a gash in the middle within the original game, but I wanted to just clean him up so I can accentuate the other parts of his design that I really wanted to point out. For example, his claw. I wanted to get a nice angle on it, which eventually caused me to change the entire angle of the animatronic, because I was not able to put in this weird curve for just straight up Foxy. I need to give him a bit of a tilt, show his running pose, and I think I really showed it here. It gives off the emotion and the energy of Foxy. You know? I feel like a good example of what I could do for the, you know, shiny variants or alternate variants of the animatronics is Foxy, because out of all of the animatronics, without it being a completely different character, Foxy has had the most designs. You have the 2 different pirate Foxies. We've had all of the the Hanna-Barbera versions that you saw in Help Wanted 2 and the trailer. And then there was there's FNAF AR. If you want costumes, you go to FNAF AR, but I don't think those ones are great. I wanted to give Foxy this weird hand gesture. I don't know what it is. You can decide what it is. I think it kind of looks like the Italian hand gesture thing. You know the one. They go, give me the thing. I don't want to do an Italian accent. I might really offend people, and I don't want to do that. A tough issue here I found was trying to give Foxy his endoskeleton feet. How was I supposed to do that with all the other ones? Especially since, while the other animatronics they all have 3-segment arms, 2-segment legs. And then, they have their, pants diaper piece. How was I supposed to make the endoskeleton parts work well for both the legs and the feet, and still fit into the pants, while making none of it look weird, and still like he's moving? A bit of a hassle, but I got to it, and it worked out, while also including his ear tufts. The snout was a bit tough. It caused me to enlarge his head a bit taller, but I feel like Foxy should be the tallest animatronic. I know they're all, I'm pretty sure, around about the same size, but Foxy's the tallest. Come on, everyone knows Foxy's the tallest out of the animatronics, and if you disagree with me, that's your opinion, and I can't fight you on it, but I wish I could. I'll find you. Foxy's the tallest. This is a hill I will die on. But coloring in Foxy here, I wanted to separate out the segments. I was wondering that, how would I get the endoskeleton piece joint thing to also go with the hands? Wouldn't that look weird? But I feel like with the shading I did it right. I want to also show his fangs, so I just added 2 little teeth at the front. I think that was a good point there, to show his teeth off a little, because out of all the animatronics from FNAF 1, I feel like Foxy's teeth matter the most. Chica, it's the beak. Bonnie, it's his ears and guitar. Freddy, it's his bow tie and hat. Foxy, it's the endoskeleton parts, the hook, the eye patch, and his teeth. Honestly, not to spoil you guys, but if I was to do FNAF 4, I'd give him the tongue. I'd give him the tongue. Bring back the tongue. Not for those reasons. I just think it's a really cool design choice, and they didn't keep it into the final version. I'd keep it in. Adding in Foxy's eye patch at the end. Did you know, in the games, when Foxy's eye patch flips up, he still has a fully working eye under there? It's not like a hole or anything, probably because that'd scare the hell out of the kids. So I thought, do the normal Foxy thing first, and then add in the eye patch. Here's me adding the colors in at the end, and segmenting it off. I used this purple just because I thought it stood out the most compared to the other colors. And here's the lineup of all of our animatronics. First thing I did was get them all out. There's Freddy, if you were wondering how he looks. The main things I wanted to keep in him was I wanted those white gloves there. Ended up doing it fingerless. Wanted his mic, wanted his bow tie and hat, but I also really wanted the freckles. Freddy's freckles is one of his key features. You see me there fixing Bonnie's eyebrows, and there's the end. I hope you all enjoyed this. I can't wait to do more. I will be doing more. I don't care if this doesn't do good. I'm doing more of this, because so much fun with these guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Do that jazz. You want to see future ones, hit the bell. And comment down below what you think. Like I said, do you want there to be skins? Do you want there to be evolutions? Is there anything you want to see in here? Because I'm hearing you out. So yeah, tell me more. Well then, you've been in Oblivion, and I've been Shader. See you in the next video.